Now, to the man I've been talking about. I can just go down the list of things. On the list for the Hall of Fame this year, played with the Dallas Cowboys and a number of other teams, won the Heisman Trophy in 1982, was on the national championship Georgia Bulldog college football team. Look at that picture of the Herschel Walker with the beautiful Heisman Trophy. Who is that young boy in that picture, Herschel?
That's a good question. I have no idea who that is. But I didn't even know I was up for the Hall of Fame, but I reckon that's exciting.
It's very exciting. Look, this is your opportunity.
Well, no, I want to win, but I said I didn't know I was up for it. Nobody called me.
Have you ever done anything that you didn't want to win?
Oh, no, I want to win at everything. People don't realize I love winning. You know, even when I always said winning not everything, I said that's a lie. I do not believe that. If you set out to do anything, you want to win at it, or don't do it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I've heard you say that you won't do something unless you think you're going to win.
That's
and
exactly
you're here
right.
because you're promoting MMA fighting now.
Yes.
But you've had a few fights of your own.
I have, and I'm undefeated. And I'm
Two
promoting
fights.
I've had 2 fights, and I say I'll fight one more. But there's a fight coming up in San Jose, California this weekend, and Tito Ortiz is fighting a champion, and there's a round-robin tournament going on. So there's a lot of good fights going on in San Jose.
This is you, actually, in your fight. How long ago was this fight?
Oh, this fight was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yes.
Herschel, now you look like you're about the same as you were when you were playing football. About the same weight, about the same size?
I am right now. I'm about 3 pounds over. I fight at about 3 pounds under.
So what are you, right?
Right now I'm about 225. I play at about 222.
See that? It's never rude to ask a ball player how much they weigh.
No, because I'm real. I pile it on, but I can cut it up.
You can cut it up. And you're over 50 years old, so
don't tell
cheers.
anyone because I've been lying. I'm on to 26.
Okay, well, my goodness, who would guess anything higher than 26 years old? So it was 1980, and I remember well, you guys were the national champion. Georgia was the national champion. You went 12-0. You had that perfect record. And back in those days, they voted on it. You got it. What do you think of the college football playoff system now?
I think the playoff system is a great thing. I always thought that we should have one. I think they need to put more teams in it. I think 4 teams is just not enough. I think you got to put more teams, or you got to erase a lot of those championship games.
Yeah, it would be so much more fun to have more teams.
Yes.
Is Ohio State going to repeat?
I tell you, at first I thought Alabama was the strongest team in college football, and I got to see Ohio State play their first game. And I was shocked. I said, Ohio State has got a very, very good team.
How about that running back?
They got, and not just running back, they got 3 guys that can be Heisman Trophy candidates. Yeah. And that's what's so amazing.
That Braxton Miller maybe remind you of you a little bit?
All right, he's probably better than I am. I tell you what, he's a big dude. I couldn't believe how big he was.
Which reminds me, Michael Irvin, another Dallas Cowboy, has said that the players in the NFL of today are better athletes than he was back then. Do you think that of the time? You were a heck of an athlete.
You know, I was a good athlete. I think they have the ability to be better. I think some players are lazy today. And, you know, for running backs, it's tough to even say that a running back today is better than the running backs of yesterday. The only reason I say that is they don't let them play. It is amazing today that they are now sort of getting rid of running backs.
They are getting rid of them.
And
there's not a running back like you.
Yeah, well, not just like me, but Tony Dorsett.
Right.
Or like a Walter Payton, who I consider the best running back ever to play this game. You look at Adrian Peterson, who had carried the ball 10 times last week, or DeMarcus Murray, who they paid a lot of money to get to Philly, hardly ever played in the game. And I think that's really kind of shocking.
It shocked me, too, to see guys like that not get very many yards. Do you play fantasy football by chance?
No.
You wouldn't even dream it?
This was going to be funny. I never watched football. People don't know.
Wow.
I never have watched football. I didn't grow up watching football, and I learned football from a book. You know, I could barely speak, and I learned to read, play football, and learn to work out from a book. You had stuttered
when you were a kid, is what you're talking
about.
And I
took books, and I started reading about working out, and that's the way I trained myself to work out.
You know, we'll put up the fight here, but I want you to tell everyone the truth of the matter is, at 223, 25, you've never lifted a weight.
No, I'm not a weightlifter.
Ever?
I never have. I've done all isometrics, almost like a gymnast. I do body lifting, like push-ups, sit-ups, dips, pull-ups. And the only reason I do that is I tell people I didn't use excuses in life. I didn't grow up in a high school that had a good weight program that had those weights that a lot of other people had. So instead of using excuses, I started doing my own type of workout. And when I got to college, I tested better than the people they had there, so they let me do what I was doing. I got the Pro Bowl. I still was testing better than what they had, so they let me do what I've been doing, and I've been doing it ever since, and I feel pretty good.
And you look pretty good. Here's the fight. Bellator MMA, what you are promoting, MMA Dynamite 1, live and free on Spike TV Saturday at 6 o'clock. Here's your chance. Why should you be in the Hall of Fame?
I should be in the Hall of Fame because I'm going to say, let's get rid of the USFL and just use my yards, just the yards in the NFL.
And they were 8,000?
Well, not just 8,000. Overall, I'm probably in the top 10 in the NFL, just NFL yard combined.
Oh, combined,
as an athlete.
18-some
and
thousand.
then I heard I had over 500 catches, and I found this out last night as well, since I found out I'm nominated for the Hall of Fame, that I'm the only player ever to have 4,000 yards in receiving, returns, and rushing. So I was like, oh, I never knew that. You know, I never kept up with that stuff, but I sounded like I was pretty good.
You were pretty good, Herschel
Yes.
Walker. Thanks so much for coming
you're
in.
welcome.
It's been a pleasure. All right, guys, back to you.
I mean, can we vote?
Have you Googled yourself?
Right.
Why is this missing?
We're ready to vote. We say yes.
We say you're in.